one. Thank you. Good morning. I want to welcome you to our very first all-school assembly. This is a great opportunity for us to come together as a school for a really important event. And before we get started, I want to go over a few expectations since this is our very first time together in our new gym for our all-school assembly. The first thing is that when we come together for an assembly such as these, we need to be sitting with our classes. And we are sitting together with our third grade class today. And I'd ask that if you have a hat on or a hood on, even if it is part of your spirit wear today, that you remove that. With the exception of Mr. Medusa over here. Our royal spirit at the end. But I also want to remind you that whenever we have someone at the mic, whether it's myself, a teacher, a guest speaker, or one of your fellow students, that we always want to show them respect. And we show them respect by giving our attention to them, our full attention, meaning we're not having side conversations with those sitting next to us, and we're really listening to what they have to say. Because it's important that when we are together, we are hearing the voices of others and respecting the message that they are sharing with us. I am pleased to introduce to you today someone that Mrs. Stelling found and thought, this person would be a great person to come and talk with Rose Hill Middle School students. Some fun facts about our presenter today. The first fact is that he is a professional hugger. Our second fact Our second fact is that he was once invited to join the junior varsity national laser tag team. And today I am pleased to introduce you to Mr. Housten Kraft.
This is amazing. I want to tell you a story. You see, just over a year ago, I saw one of the bravest things I've ever seen. I was at a high school, 1,400 students in the gym. It was huge. And afterwards, I was getting ready to go, and I was standing in the cafeteria, and I started to notice some things happening around me. The custodian started dragging out the garbage cans, and they formed a perimeter around the lunch tables. The lunch ladies snapped on their hairnets, and they manned their battle stations. And all of a sudden, boop, the bell rings, the double doors burst open, and 700 kids come rushing into this cafeteria, and I'm not prepared. I'm giving high fives, handshakes, hugs, I'm a professional. And just as quickly as it started, all of a sudden it stopped. Everyone in this entire room had found their seats and were nomming on their chicken nuggets. I was standing in the middle of the whole thing, trying to get ready to leave, when all of a sudden a girl at a nearby table slid me over a chair and a piece of pizza. I sat down. I could not refuse a slice of Papa John's pepperoni. I found my seat, and as I was a few bites in, I looked up and I watched as one of the student leaders walked over to the iPod. They had set up speakers in the cafeteria because it was an assembly day like this. And I watched as one of the student leaders walked over and pressed play on the iPod. All of a of a sudden, Michael Jackson started playing over the speaker system. And I was like, I was excited. The song started playing, and as I was a few bites into my pizza, on the far side of the cafeteria, I looked up and I saw a boy, a 9th grade boy, stand up. And he started to dance. Like this. For an awkwardly long period of time. The reaction is what you might expect it to be. Maybe how it would happen here at Rose Hill. A lot of people turned and they pointed, some people laughed. Most people just went back to their tables and started talking to each other. In fact, some of the guys at my table leaned in and were like, "What a weirdo." And for a second, I kind of had to agree with them. I was like, this kid is crazy. There are 700 people in this room. Most of them are older than him, and he looks like a string bean just... This kid has to be terrified. This kid has to be crazy. And as I sit there watching this happen, all of a sudden on the far side of the cafeteria, across from this boy, a 9th grade girl stands up. She starts to dance. I was like, these kids have terrible dance moves. The reaction was again what you might expect it to be. People turned, they pointed, they laughed. They went back to their tables and started talking to themselves. And as I sat there watching this happen, I couldn't help but think to myself about some of my dad's life lessons. You know, he's taught me a lot of things over the years, my dad. One of the first things he ever taught me was this. Life lesson number 1. Girls love a guy who can dance. Which is funny, coming from a guy whose best dance move is the elbow grinder. It's not good, Dad.
Not bad.
But sure enough, as I was thinking about it, it started to come true. The girl started dancing her way across the cafeteria. She got to the boy, she reached out, she grabbed his hands. They started dancing together. Yeah, at first across the whole cafeteria, there was one of those moments where everyone went, aww. And then right back to their tables like, okay, this is really weird. And me, again, I couldn't help but think to myself that these kids have to be crazy. They have to be terrified. If I were in their position, if I were in their shoes, I would be scared to death. Because if I'm honest with you this morning, if I'm real with myself, I would tell you this. One of my biggest fears is what other people think about me. More often than not, I'm worried about what other people think about me. For as long as I can remember, I just wanted to be liked. I just wanted to be one of the cool kids. I just wanted to have friends. It was pretty simple. But the idea of standing up in front of a room full of 700 people, most of them older than me, and going, yeah, I'm good. That would scare me, and it's okay. I think we have to remind ourselves sometimes that life can be a scary thing. Nod your head if you would agree that life is scary. I don't see all of you nodding, and that's okay. Some of you may be sleepy, some of you may just not agree. Let me just prove it to you. I think life is scary from the moment we are born. I'm going to use this stage. Watch. I'm going to use this stage as like a timeline of our lives. Here, I'm born. As I go this way, I'm getting older. Born. Elementary school. Middle school. Death. Good morning. Life is scary from the moment we are born, so let's go back to the moment just before we're born. We're in the womb. No, listen here. No. I don't know how often you think about the womb, but it was awesome. I like to think of the womb as like a tropical resort. Seriously, think about it. Here you are. You're nice and warm.
10 out of 10.
You're getting all the food you can eat. The waves are... Okay, that's kind of gross. I'm sorry. But seriously, there you are. Think about it. You're in like the beach chair of the fetal position. No one's there to bother you. You're getting all your needs met. You're living... You're born. I don't know how many of you know this, but it happened to almost every single one of us in this room. As soon as you're born, as soon as you were born, the doctor grabbed you by the ankles, flipped you upside down, and slapped you in the butt. It's true. No, they do that to kickstart your body, to tell your brain to start breathing, an important part of life. But here you are, in the womb. Living the dream, comfortable, cozy, no. Welcome to Earth. I don't know about you, but I think life can be scary from the moment we are born, and as we get older, watch. As we get older, I think things only get scarier. I don't know how it was for you, but for me, when I was in elementary school, I was one of the shorter kids on the playground. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I was about 4'5", 5.5". And because of that, I had a lot of scary things happen to me. For example, maybe you've been here before. You're on the pitcher's mound for the great American game of kickball.
That's right.
You're about 4'5", 5.5", and the next kid up to bat is like the kid who hit puberty at age 4. He has a full-grown beard. His quads are bigger than your face. I don't know about you, but for me this was a scary place. Just that thought of rolling it towards his foot, which is like a size 17, and having the ball come right back to my face. That's a scary. If you haven't been there before, maybe you'll understand this better. Suddenly we're in middle school. I don't know how it is for you, but for me middle school was a time of a lot of firsts. I had my first kiss in 7th grade. Yeah, no, don't cheer. Do not cheer, it was not that good. Do not cheer. Her name was Bree. Bree and I had been dating for about a week, and we thought maybe it was time for the first kiss. But I'd never done this before. I was terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't sure if I should leave with the peach, the plum, or the alfalfa. Some of you guys like Housten, why are we talking about fruits and veggies when we're talking about kisses? Watch my mouth. Peach, plum, alfalfa. I didn't know. It'd been about a week, and Bree and I, we thought it was about time for the first kiss. Bree comes in with the peach. I leave with the alfalfa. I was like Pac-Man eating her face. It was really good.
This is amazing.
Life is scary when you haven't done these things before, when you're unsure, when you're not sure what to do. Life can be scary. And as we get older, I think it only gets scarier. Suddenly maybe we're in 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we're looking forward to 9th grade. Maybe some of you have been here before. Watch.
No.
You get the phone number of the girl or the guy that you like.
Not bad.
You go home and you have to write that first text message. The one that's like gonna decide whether or not you marry this person and have babies. No, for real, there's so much riding. This is your crush. This is the person you have that crush on, and so much is riding on that first impression. Guys, if you're anything like me, we spend hours pacing back and forth. Writing, erasing, rewriting, Googling sweet nothings to say. And after all our time and energy and effort, guys, what do we usually come up with?
Love you.
Hey.
What up? I'm just gonna love that. Girls are a little bit different. Girls, for you, you have it's more of a peer editing process. For you, texting is like a group project. You get the phone number, hold on, watch. You get the phone number of the person that you like. You go home, you open up their contact info on your phone, and you just sort of look at it. Later that night, you're lying in bed, texting your friends, and you drop your phone on your face. Look around, make sure no one saw. You come up with something you think was really good. It's perfect. But before you can send it off to that person that you like, you're scared, you're not sure how they're going to receive it. You have to send it on to girl 2 for a little feedback, right? Girl 2 takes out the red pen, makes some edits, passes it on to girl 3. Girl 3 Snapchats it to girl 4. Girl 4 tweets it to girl 5. Guys, girls, by the time you receive that first text message from a girl, every other girl in this room, if not the whole world, has had input on it in some way. And after all that time and energy and feedback, girls, what do you usually come up with? Hey. two Y's. The smiley face, I know you. If you don't know this, stay with me. If you don't know this, you should. Hey with one Y, that is friendly, that is hey. Hey with two Y's, hey. Hey with three Y's, hi. And this is serious. This is from personal experience.
This is amazing.
This is a warning. Hey with four Y's. Hey! That's too many Y's. Run away from that. Maybe a stalker. That is a scary thing. Texting is terrifying to me. You're gonna do it. Life, I think for a lot of us, life is scary from the moment we're born. We all go through those weird, awkward phases. We all have to be scared at some point in our life, but I don't think it's just life that's a scary thing. I think that the world that we live in is sometimes a scary place. For example, it scares me. How many jellyfish must die every day? Hold on. No. It scares me. How many jellyfish have to die every single day to make the gel that supports One Direction's hair? It's scary. You know, I like to ask people what they're scared of in the world. And I love the answers. You know, I was just talking to a 7th grade boy recently. And he said the feeling that scares him is when he's walking down the stairs and he misses one. That feeling right here, being in the air and be like, no. Right there, be like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is how I die. That feeling right here is what scares him. I was talking to a middle school girl and she said that what scares her is this feeling. Maybe you've been here before. You go and ask your mom, you say, hey, Mom, I want to go over to Jennifer's house. And your mom says, of course, honey, under one condition. There's only one rule.
No boys.
Just call me when you get there. And she goes over to Jennifer's house, she puts the phone down, they play for like a couple of hours, she comes back to the phone and there's like 712 missed calls. That feeling right there where your brain's like, uh-oh, right? You look outside, your mom's in the minivan with the window rolled down, like, come on, it's over. That's what scares her. What scares me is Miley Cyrus, but that's a whole different thing. Yeah, I think life is scary from the moment we were born. We all go through those weird, different, awkward, scary things. I think the world that we live in, every day we're faced with awkward, potentially scary things. But what's scarier than all of that to me is this. What's scarier than all of that stuff to me is this, is that it's possible. It is very possible to live your life scared. It's very possible to live your life in fear. And what's so scary about that to me is this. Is for as long as I can remember, fear has always made me do dumb things. For example, I remember one of the first times in my life where fear took control of my actions. Where fear made me do a dumb thing. You see, in 8th grade, I met this girl. Her name was Sadie, and I gotta tell you, Sadie was so cute, and she was so nice, she was so sweet, and all I wanted to do in 8th grade, all I wanted to do was to hold Sadie's hand. So I did what any 8th grader would do. I had her over to my house for delicious macaroni and cheese dinner.
Not bad. 10
Could I have a volunteer? Sadie. I gotta tell you, I head over to my house for this delicious macaroni and cheese dinner, and afterwards we went out to the living room.
Not bad.
And we had a seat on the couch. Or the love seat, if you will. And the conditions were perfect to hold Sadie's hand. The lights were dim. There was a gas fire burning in the gas fireplace.
Oh no.
But it was still a little chilly. And we were watching a romantic comedy on the TV, and all I wanted to do was to hold Sadie's hand. So I started moving my hand in that direction when all of a sudden my hand just stopped. It literally wouldn't go any further. I started having this feeling, maybe you've had it before too, where your stomach churns a little bit, your heart starts beating faster, and your head starts racing. My brain starts telling me all these things. Well, maybe Sadie doesn't want to hold your hand. Maybe Sadie doesn't like you like that. What if she just thinks you're friends and you try to hold her hand and you ruin the entire relationship? What if this ruins everything that you tried to build for? What if Sadie doesn't care for you the way that you care for her, and all of a sudden my hand just won't move? I'm terrified. I'm scared and my hand won't go any further. Fear is taking control of my actions. And in that moment, I do what maybe some of you have done before. I start to count down in my head. 10 to 0. When I get to 0, I'm gonna be holding Sadie's hand. The bells are ringing, things are in the air, it's magic. 10. She looks so pretty tonight. 9. She even smells good. 8. Did I wear deodorant today? That's evidence. Definitely did not wear deodorant today. 6. 5. When you get to 5, you always start like readjusting your hand on your thigh, right? You always just want to make first contact. You try and lead with the pinky. You just want to make like a little click. Make the move. 4. 3. 2. 1. Hey Sadie, I gotta go to the bathroom. Give me a big round of applause, would you? I tell you all that to tell you this. I tell you all that to tell you this. I never did hold Sadie's hand. Don't make that noise in my direction. How dare you? I think a lot of you would have done the same thing. You know, I think it's not just me. I think it's not just me. I think for a lot of us, fear makes us do dumb things sometimes. If the girl thing, if the guy thing, projection, if that's not what scares you, then maybe this is you. You're lying in bed at night, cozied up, cold side of the pillow. Before you can close your eyes to go to sleep, you have to do that one last room scan to make sure nothing is out of place.
Yeah.
Your closet door is slightly open. You cannot sleep. Why is that? We think there's like a little leprechaun in our closet with a knife, who as soon as we go to bed is going to come out and be like, we cannot sleep, but we're comfy, we're cozy in our beds. What do? We call it to our mom, our grandma, our aunt, whoever it is that we live with. We go, Mom! No answer. Mini heart attack. Mom! Still no answer. The monsters probably have her at this point. And what used to be like quiet in our room before has entered like a whole new dimension of silence. Things that never used to make noise before, like the dust around your ears, like, hi. You're like, shh. And then they shut up to it, and our entire world is, and always in that moment of absolute, something in our house creaks. There is a creaker in our house, and we know for a fact it's a murderer.
We do.
We know it. So what do we do? We do dumb things when we're afraid to Dang it. He greeted me. He is too nice. I'll come back tomorrow. Fear makes us do dumb things. If that's not you, then I know you. I know you're at your house. Okay. Your friend's house. You've had your dinner, you've done your homework. All the lights downstairs are off except for one. Do you casually turn that light off and stroll comfortably upstairs? I know you. That light switch is like the gunshot in an Olympic 100-meter dash race. And you are Housten Bolt running. Glancing back to make sure the monster's not behind you. We all have our own monster suit. For as long as I can remember, my monster has always been Gollum from Lord of the Rings. As soon as that light goes off, he comes around the corner, he's like, precious. I'm like, no! There's no monster there. Fear makes us all do dumb things sometimes. Which is why I want to tell you about one of the scariest times in my life. Not for any big, crazy reason. Watch. Which is why I want to tell you about one of the scariest times in my life. And it's not for any big, crazy, weird reason. I haven't gone through a lot of traumatic, difficult things in my life, but just because of the circumstances, just because of the kind of person I am, 6th grade for me was one of the scariest times of my life, and I'll tell you why. When I was in 6th grade, my elementary school went kindergarten through 6th. Not only that, I was in a 4th, 5th, 6th grade split class. It was like the honors class. And I remember every day, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, on the bus and out on the playground, people would always hassle me. They said I was part of the nerd herd. Which I can laugh at now, but back then, it hurt. Not only that, I told you earlier I was one of the shorter kids on the playground. I was about 4'5", 5.5". And every day on the school bus, I remember the 2 kids sat behind me and they would pick on me every single day. And in 6th grade, I had enough of it. I was tired of it. I told you earlier one of my biggest fears is what other people think about me. For as long as I can remember, all I wanted to do was just to be liked, was just to fit in. And now that I was in 6th grade, I thought now was my time. I was done being picked on. I was done being put on the bottom. Now it was my turn to be on the top. My 6th grade year, I was so excited because I thought finally now was the time I got to be on top. And for whatever reason, I thought that in order to stay on top, I had to make sure I pushed other people down. In order to make myself feel better, I had to make sure other people felt worse. Me and my 6th grade friends, I think that's all we wanted. There was only 6 of us 6th graders in that class. And I think for whatever reason, the only thing we wanted was just to be the cool 6th graders. We just wanted to get along, we just wanted to be the cool kids, we just wanted to be liked. And fortunately, my 6th grade year, I had a really awesome opportunity. I'll never forget, 2 weeks into the school year, this girl transferred into our class. She came in 5th grade and her name was Lisa. If I could describe Lisa to you in just a few simple ways, I would tell you this. Lisa wore the same pink or purple tights to school probably 3 or 4 days a week. Lisa wore this pink jacket that was dirty all down one side. She wore it almost every single day. Lisa, a girl with an S right in the middle of her name, also had a lisp, a speech impediment. She had difficulty saying S. I don't know if you can imagine how hard it might be. Transferring, coming into a brand new school, a brand new place, standing up in front of the whole class, introducing yourself, and having people like me laughing. I've told this story about Lisa well over 100 times, but it's never been more real than it is to me now. Just 3 weeks ago, my dad, he started moving out of the house that I grew up in. I'd lived there for 18 years and all my stuff is there, and as we're going through old things, we come across a bunch of old pictures. And one of those pictures is from my 4th, 5th, 6th grade class, and I want you to just to put this in your mind. On the far left side of the picture is a group of the girls. All the girls in the class. It's a class of about 25 kids, and about 10 or 15 of the girls are sitting over here, and they're all smiles. They're smiling, they have their arms around each other, and as you move your way across this picture, just think of it. In the center was all the guys. Some of them had our arms around each other, some of us were just like trying to stand and look cool. And then the guys end, and the group ends. And then there's only about a foot of space. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's enough. There's about a foot of space, and then there's this girl with her head down, not looking at the camera, not smiling. And that is Lisa. I tell you that because I found that picture, and again, this story has never been more real to me. This girl, Lisa, she came in 5th grade, and for me, she was a wonderful opportunity. For me, she was a really easy target. I told you, me and my friends, we thought for whatever reason, in order to stay on top, we had to push other people down. In order to feel better about ourselves, we had to make other people feel worse. I don't know why. We just wanted to be funny, we just wanted to be cool. And Lisa was the perfect target. She was really easy to make fun of, and me and my friends, we used to do all kinds of things to make fun of her. She used to like speed walk out to recess. Me and my friends would like speed walk racer. We got out on the playground, and me and my buddies, we always played soccer and basketball. Those were our 2 big sports. And whenever Lisa was around, we'd kick the ball her way or pass the ball her way because she wasn't very good. And that made us feel better. In December, we had a Secret Santa gift exchange. I remember it really well because it was really simple. There's only 2 rules. Rule number 1, you're going to draw a name out of the hat. That's going to be the person that you give a gift to. Rule number 2, the gift has to be $10 or less. Me and my mom and my dad, we went to Fred Meyer. We got like this chocolate orange and a Slinky. And the end of the week rolls around, it's that day. It's the day right before the end of the semester, right before you go on holiday break, and everyone is so excited. There's so much energy in the room, and at the end of the day, we get to do the Secret Santa gift exchange, and one by one, we start passing our presents to each other. Pokemon cards, Slinkies, Beanie Babies. I got a bag of Skittles and a Beanie Baby. It was awesome. And everyone was exchanging their gifts. I told one of the last people to exchange was Lisa to my friend Kristen. Kristen was in 6th grade with me. And Lisa got Kristen a rose. But not like a rose you would go and like buy from the store, or like cut from your mom's garden. Lisa took one piece of computer paper, colored the whole thing green, and she rolled it up and she taped it shut. She took another piece and she colored the whole thing red, and she had to just one by one cut out these petals and one by one tape them to this green stem, and she gave Kristen this paper rose. The end of the day rolls around, the buses are showing up in the bus loop. It's that day before holiday break, and everyone's so excited. We're talking about where we're going to go, when we're going to hang out, and me and my buddy Anthony, he's in 6th grade with me. We're sitting at the back of the class, and right before the bell rings, he looks over at the rose sitting on Kristen's desk. He says, "What is that thing?" I don't know. He says, "Hey, Housten, you know what would be funny? I dare you to walk over to grab that rose like you think it's garbage and to throw it away." You know, some people might think I'm a jerk. And for what I did, yeah, sometimes I was. But the truth is, I think we've all been here before. Very simple moments. Very simple, very small moments where we're given a choice to care more about ourselves or to care more about others. Sometimes, in an effort to impress our friends, we forget about what it means to be impressive people. I don't know how it works for you, but for me, fear makes me do dumb things sometimes. I just wanted to be liked, I just wanted to fit in, so of course I walked over, I grabbed it, and I threw it away. Holiday break happens. We come back to school, and it's near the end of school year, and I'm so excited because the last thing we're studying is medieval times. Kings, kingdoms, castles, queens, stuff I love. And the big promise, the most exciting part is this: on the last day of school, we're going to have a medieval banquet. Full costumes, the food, the music, it was going to be awesome. And the most exciting part was this. Mrs. PM, our teacher, she gets up and she's announcing this medieval banquet, and she's telling us the rules. She said, you can come on the last day of school dressed up as anything from medieval times. You can come as a damsel in distress. You can come as a knight in shining armor. You can come as a dragon if you want. But there's only 4 rules. There's only 4 positions that you cannot come as. These 4 positions are the king, the queen, the prince, and the princess. Those 4 positions, they're reserved for the kids in the class, the boys and the girls who have worked the hardest. The boys and the girls in the class who have the highest grades. They get to be the king, the queen, the prince, and the princess. And the day before the last day of school, Mrs. PM, she takes out the list. And she announces who's going to be who. She says, Queen Alyssa. All right. My friend Lauren was going to be the queen. My friend Lauren was going to be the princess. My friend Anthony, the prince. And last but not least, Housten, king. All right. I was so excited. I went home that night, me, my mom, and my dad, went to Home Depot, and went to the dollar store, and to Burger King, and we got my whole costume.
The Burger King.
It was awesome. I sat down that next morning at the head of the table, king of my castle. 4'5.5", king of my castle. And one by one I watched as my court walked in, Queen Alyssa looking very elegant and dazzling. My friend Lauren, as the princess walks in, Anthony, the prince, comes, they all sit next to me at the head of the table. My friend Dexter was the court musician playing really bad music. My friend Jasmine learned how to juggle so she could be a jester. And one by one, people were walking into the door. To one of the last people to walk through was Lisa. And Lisa came in a long pink dress, light pink. She was wearing this pointy pink hat with one of those tassels that hangs down. Her hair was brushed. She had this big, beautiful smile on her face, and for one of the first times ever, she was looking right at us. Lisa looked like a princess. And I was sitting at the head of the table when my friend Anthony leaned into me and he said, Lisa, what is she doing? I thought she's not supposed to be a princess. What is she thinking? And again, I had one of those moments, and it's a small one. And it's a very simple one. But there I was. Here's this opportunity to look cool. Here's this opportunity to fit in. Here's this opportunity to impress my friend, and I'm king of the castle, so of course I'm going to walk up. Of course I'm going to look at Lisa. I'm just going to repeat what my friend said to me. I said, Lisa, what are you doing? She said, I wanted to be a princess. I said, what are you talking about? You didn't work hard enough to be a princess. You don't deserve to be a princess. Take your hat off. And I had to watch as Lisa slowly took her hat off. That smile faded from her face, looking at me right in the eyes as tears were filling up. She turned and she sped off out of the class. Lisa transferred out of our school, out of the district after that day. I have never seen Lisa again. That is the last memory I have of Lisa. All I wanted to do was to be liked. All I wanted to do was have my friends. All I wanted to do was fit in. But fear makes me do dumb things sometimes. What if we stopped caring about what the people around us think, and we started thinking more about how to care for the people around us? What if we stopped caring about what the people around us think, and we started thinking more about how to care for the people around you? Just over a year ago, my fiance Harley and I, we had this amazing opportunity. We were invited to go down to Haiti. My friend John, he's an older guy, and he's been working his whole life down in Haiti, and he has this goal, he has this dream. He wants to build a school for kids aged 3 through 18 in one of the poorest parts of Haiti. I don't know how much you know about Haiti, but I want to share with you this. Only 1% of people in Haiti know how to read. Only 1% of people in Haiti will graduate from high school. 1%. And it's not because they don't want to, it's not because they're not smart enough, it's because they don't have enough money, they don't have enough schools, and they don't have enough teachers. 1%. My friend John's vision, his dream is to build a school in one of the poorest towns called Housten. And Harley and I, we got to be flown down there to take pictures and video of 3-year-old boys and girls on their very first day. These kids are the cutest little nuggets you've ever seen in your life. I am not joking. You just want to pop up like little zits of adorable. I know that's gross, but that is the emotion. You just want to squeeze them until they go, right? So cute. Harley and I were so excited to fly down to Haiti. We get off the plane, and we feel immediately out of place. There's not a lot of white people with fedoras in Haiti. But there we were. Our friend John comes and picks us up, and as we start driving through Port-au-Prince, the capital city we're driving through, and as I look around for the first time, I see what it looks like to live in a third world country. I see what it looks like to live somewhere else besides where we get to live. And as we're driving around, the evidence of the earthquake that happened there just 3 years ago is still so real. I wish I could describe it to you. The roads were split sometimes literally in half. There was 8-foot holes in the ground on the sidewalk just as you were walking by. Full staircases had fallen on top of buildings, just totally untouched, totally destroyed. As we were driving by through the capital, we drove by at least 3 shanty towns. 700 people, the amount of people that fit in this room right now, live in a 1-block radius, in homes built from cardboard and tarp. And as we're driving through, my heart is just breaking. We get to the top of the city, we get to the stoplight, and once you turn from there, you're out of the capital. And as soon as you get that stoplight, as soon as you leave from there, you're on dirt and gravel roads. And as we take that left, I look down to my side and I see what used to be like a riverbed. There used to be a bunch of water down there, but now instead it's just filled with garbage. Things that you and I might take for granted, like having a garbage man show up on a Thursday or a Tuesday to take our stuff and put it in a landfill. They don't have that. They have to make their own landfills. They just have to put their garbage wherever they can, and this is where they chose, just a huge riverbed filled with garbage. And as I look down, I see dogs and goats sifting through, trying to find something to eat. I look down and I see people your my age, sifting through, trying to find something to eat. As we keep driving, it's an hour drive up to John's house, and we pull into his driveway. And we get out of the car and we're greeted. You know, John's building this school and it's going to be a 10-year project, but along the way he also runs a youth choir. Kids aged 5 through 18 get to show up every day and do something they love, something they're really good at, and they get to sing. And as soon as we get out of the car, these 30 kids, they just start singing in our faces. And I have no idea what they're saying. But it is beautiful. They have the biggest smile on their faces, they're singing to us, and they are beautiful. And we learned, Harley and I learned that 2 days from now, this group, they're called Wozo, which in Haitian means bamboo. Their motto is, we bend but we do not break. That the Wozo choir is going to have a concert down in the capital, down in Port-au-Prince. They've been working for months on this. They're going to sing 30 minutes worth of music, and they're so excited. Saturday rolls around, and it's time for the concert. The kids are all supposed to meet at John's house at 10 in the morning to be picked up. At 10 in the morning in Haiti, it's already 100 degrees. It's so hot. It's 100 degrees out, everyone's sweating, it's 10 in the morning, and there's no bus. 3 hours later, finally a bus pulls in, but it's not like a school bus or a charter bus like you and I might ride on. Instead, it's a 12-passenger van. And all 30 of these kids climb in. They've been waiting 3 hours. It's 100 degrees. They're in a 12-passenger van and they drive an hour drive down into the capital. John and Harley and I, we get into our own car a little while later and we go down to meet them, and as we get there, they're already dressed in their concert vest. They're in these beautiful blue and red robes and they're so excited, and just before they're about to go on stage, the person organizing the event comes up and he says, I'm so sorry, but things have been running a little bit long. I know you guys had 30 minutes, but can you guys cut that down to 15? And it looks on these kids' faces, they're so disappointed. But they get on stage and they sing for 15 minutes and they kill it. I have no idea what they're saying. But it is beautiful. They have the most beautiful voices and they're so excited. And after they're done, as we're getting ready to go, they're changing out of their concert attire. In the distance, we hear thunder. When it rains in Haiti, it rains like that. All of a sudden, when it rains, it's not like the little trickle, gentle rain we have here. It's like fist-sized drops. You put your hand outside and your body gets wet. Big rain, in the distance it starts thunder and lightning, and the rain is coming towards us, and they hurry, they get out of their concert robes, and they hop into the van. And we realize that we have our car now there too, so we take 6 of the little girls, and they can ride in the back with us. And as we start driving, they all get into the car, and as we start driving, the rain just starts coming down. It's right on top of us. And as we're driving the hour drive back home, I realize that where a lot of these kids live, there's no roads there. We can't get the cars there. Many of these little girls, 5, 6, 7 years old, are going to have to walk home a mile, maybe 2, in this pouring rain. If this were me, this would have been one of my worst days ever. 100 degrees, I waited 3 hours, I had to be packed into this van, my set got cut in half, it's raining, I have to walk home in the rain, and the thunder is right over the top of us. And it booms so loud, it's right in our ears that one of the little girls in the back, she's just 5 years old, she starts crying. And all I want to do is tell her, it's going to be okay, don't worry, it's okay. But I don't speak her language. And as I look up in the rearview mirror, I realize that I don't have to. Evna, my little seven-year-old girl, she reaches over her hand and she grabs the 5-year-old's hand, squeezes it really tight. And just after that, the whole group of girls, the 5 other girls around them, they have big smiles on their face and they just start to sing. I have no idea what they're saying. But it is beautiful. You know, these girls, these people have every right to be afraid. But they choose to care for each other anyways. You know, these little girls, they have every right to cry, they have every right to complain, but they choose to love each other anyways. All I wanted to do that night was to show Sadie that I cared. But I was too scared. How many opportunities a day do you and I miss to tell people, thank you? To tell people, hey, you matter. To tell people, hey, I'm grateful for you. Thank you, I'm sorry, I love you. You're important. Hey, you look nice today. How many opportunities a day do you and I miss to tell people that we care for them because we're too scared? Because it's uncomfortable, because it's weird, because it's awkward. How many opportunities a day do we miss? I wish I had known how important those simple things are. Those simple, small moments are in 6th grade. 4 years after 6th grade, I'd be a sophomore in high school. And I'd go back down to visit Mrs. PM, still one of my favorite teachers of all time. Every couple of years, they do the medieval banquet, and I went down to talk to her to see what was new, what was different. Was your king any taller? We were having a great conversation. Mrs. PM and I, we became good friends, and we're just chatting. And about 20 minutes into the conversation, Mrs. PM, she says, you know, Housten, I know you and your friends weren't all that nice to Lisa. The mood got serious. I said, yeah. I feel bad about that. She goes, Housten, you know, I wouldn't share this with just anyone, but I think you should know. You know, I don't know the whole story, but from what I do know, Housten, is that Lisa's dad wasn't a very nice guy. What I do know, Housten, is that Lisa's dad was abusive to her, both physically and emotionally. At such a young age, Housten, for so long, Housten, that he was the reason she had that lisp. He caused that. And Housten, I wouldn't expect you to know any of this in 6th grade, but by the time you were in 6th grade, the dad had been out of the picture for a lot of years by then. It was just Lisa, her younger brother, and her mom. And her mom didn't have a job at the time, just struggling to make ends meet. I don't know the whole story, Housten, but I thought that you should know it. I walked out of that room that day and I sat down in my car and things just started clicking for me. Maybe I was stupid, maybe these things are simple, but I think unless we take time to think about these things, then we might miss the whole point. You see, I realized why Lisa wore the same pink or purple tights to school every day. It made sense why she wore the same dirty pink jacket. You know, I understood why Lisa gave Kristen a paper rose. It was the best she could do. Lisa's story was that she was never made to feel like a princess at home. She was certainly never made to feel like a princess by me and my friends at school. And the one day that she showed up, dressing, looking, smiling, feeling like a princess, I took it away from her. Because I was too scared. What if we stopped caring about what the people around us think and started thinking about how to care for the people around us. There they were, dancing. I looked at them and as I sat there thinking, these kids have to be crazy. They have to be terrified. A girl from a nearby table hopped up. Suddenly there was 3 people dancing. And then there was 4, and then there was 5. When it got to 5, I turned to the girl sitting next to me. I was like, hey, you want to dance? She was like, no thank you. I said, I understand, it's scary. I turned back, there were 7, 10, 12 people on the outside of this huge round cafeteria just dancing. I looked at him and I made eye contact with the boy. The first boy who had started it all, I looked at him and behind just this layer of absolute fear in his eyes, there was like a question. He looked at me and he was like, this could get bigger, couldn't it? Looked back at him and I was like, oh yeah. So what they did is they moved that group of 12 kids from the outside of this cafeteria into the center of this huge round place. Just 12 people dancing. As soon as they got to the center, one of the nearby tables of 8 hopped up. Suddenly there was 20 people dancing. And then 2 more tables hopped up. Suddenly there was 40. When it got to 40, I was like, I want to dance. I ran to the center and as soon as I got there, I looked up. And there was a second story where people were filming with their phones all around. I was like, what are they doing? I looked around me. And after less than 1 minute, 55 seconds, I looked around me and all 700 people in that room were dancing. This silly little dance. I'm not talking about just the students. The teachers were dancing, custodians had their garbage cans and they were dancing, the lunch ladies had their hairnets and they were rocking. Even a principal was on the table dancing. I can see that happening. It was awesome, and in the center of it all was this one boy with the biggest smile on his face still dancing. And I looked at that kid and I realized something really important that day. I looked at that kid and I realized this kid was scared. But you know what? He was dancing anyways. I looked at that kid and I realized that sometimes we're going to be faced with very simple moments. Very small moments where we have a choice to stand up for a friend. To stand up when someone's being hurt. To stand up and just say to someone, hey, you matter. I care about you. To do something as simple as reaching over and grabbing someone's hand, knowing that sometimes the little things that we do make the biggest difference. I looked at that boy and I realized, this kid is crazy. Crazy enough to kick fear in the face. Crazy enough to step outside of his comfort zone, to challenge his community. Crazy enough to understand that in order to make a difference, we have to be willing to do something a little bit different.
So my question for you is, what is it that you need to do differently at Rose Hill to make this place, your school, your world a better place? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the kind of person who when you're walking around the halls, you smile at people, you hold the door open for someone, you give someone a high five, knowing that those little moments, those simple moments of kindness can have the biggest difference? Do you want to be the kind of person who treats people, treats your teachers? As you're walking out of the classroom that was really good, you walk up to them and say, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Knowing that they do not hear that enough, you want to be the kind of person who has loyal pride and works every day and strive for 100%. Not only in class, not on homework, but in the way that you treat people. Watch. What does it look like to treat people 100%? I will tell you. Do you want to be the kind of person who treats people based on the way that you feel? Or based on the very fact that they, like you, are a person? That they, like you, have a story? That they, like you, want a little bit less fear in their life and a lot more love? And if we're willing to, we can give that to people. I need to ask, are you the kind of person that's going to give people princess moments, or the kind of person that takes them away. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Are you willing to dance? For an awfully long period of time.
Of course.
Until someone decides to join you, until 700 people decide to join you, because I will tell you this. Watch. In the work that I do, I travel all over the country and I work with people just like you. In the work that I do, as I walk around, as I see schools, as I read my Facebook newsfeed, as I look on Twitter, as I read the news, I see in the world what is normal. And I will tell you right now, it is not normal to be kind. It is not normal to care for people. It is not normal to stand up for people. It is not normal to love people. What is normal is being afraid. But my question for you is, are you brave enough to stand up for people? Are you brave enough to stand up and dance for an awkwardly long period of time, knowing that sometimes when we do little things,
They turn into very big ones. Every single day, we are given a choice. To live in fear, or to choose to love people. I ask you, I beg you, Rose Hill, starting today, choose to love people. Thank you very much for having me. I don't want this conversation to be over. It's a really important one to keep having. You can always talk to me. You can find me online. My name is Housten, like the city. Kraft, like the delicious macaroni and cheese. Come find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Housten Kraft. On Instagram at Housten Kraft. Come find me. Come talk to me. I want to hear from you, and I love you very much. Thank you.
Thinking about